How is it going, loves? It's Alyse here, and today I am back again with yet another Mindset Monday video, and I'm so excited about this one because this is important. We're going to be talking about how to let go of toxic relationships. Yeah. We're gonna dive into this. So if you're new here to this channel, my name is Alyse. Here I share videos about my lifestyle, about relationships, communication, healthy mindset, physical health, mental health, all the good things. So if any of that resonates with you, be sure to click the little red subscribe button down below and click the bell to turn on your notifications. That way you will not miss any of my new videos. All right, now without further ado, let's get into it. So first off, I just want to preface this video by talking about the term toxic relationship. I personally don't believe that a relationship is toxic if it just feels like it's time to drift apart and you're just not really vibing with that person anymore. To me, a toxic relationship is anything that involves some form of emotional abuse, physical abuse, any type of abuse, and just not kind behavior. This video is going to be more so about relationships that just don't really feel like they're serving you anymore, or there's just not a good vibe related to the relationship, or maybe the person isn't treating you so nice. And we're gonna dive into some ways that you can navigate getting out of these relationships. Okay, so first thing to dive into, if you're not 100% sure if you really do want to let go of this relationship, maybe you really care about this person and you have a long history of being friends with them, a relationship with them, or they're in your family and you're just like not sure if you really want to navigate getting out of it, but you feel some sort of way. One thing that you can do is track your energy around this person. So this is something that we do in my 6-week program called Confidence Mastery. I'm going to share some info about that down below if you want to learn more about this tactic and practice in detail, because it's really powerful and helpful. But I'm going to give you a little overview. So energy tracking is basically feeling into the way that it feels the days, the weeks leading up to you spending time with this person. So before you spend time with them, how are you feeling? Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling overwhelmed? And then also tracking your energy when you're actually spending time with this person, whether it's connecting on the phone, through text, or in person. And how do you feel after you spend time with this person? Do you feel like it's energy giving, like it's bringing you life? You feel inspired, you feel supported, it feels like an F yes? Or does it feel energy draining, like it's just pulling from you and you feel anxious and it's stressful and it's just, you feel closed off and just not open? So tracking your energy around this relationship can be super helpful to determining if this feels like a relationship that you want to continue on with, and maybe you just have some things to communicate about and work through, which we'll get into later in this video, or if it's very clear this is not working and you want out. Another thing to consider when it feels like maybe you should let go of this relationship is why it's actually important to let go of relationships that are not serving you. So here's the thing, if you are not 100% in or 110% in this relationship, if something feels off for you and it's just not working out, the other person can feel this. And it may be hard to believe how the other person can feel this if you haven't said anything about how it's not a 100% and you're like so in it still. Maybe they pick up on some body language, or maybe they can just sense it when you're spending time together or the way that you correspond has changed, but likely the other person can pick up on this too and they can feel this, and that's not fair to them. So one reason why it's really important to let go of relationships that don't feel like 100%, yes, this is amazing, is so that you and the other person can create more space to invite new relationships in that do feel that way. Another reason why it's important to let go of relationships that no longer feel like they're serving you is because we are the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. I'm sure you have heard that before. It's all around the internet. I've heard it a million times before. But when you really take a second to think about that and consider who are the 5 people that you spend the most time with or you spend the most time corresponding with, and what does that mean for you, right? What are their belief systems? What are their habits? What's the way that they move through life? And are those things that inspire you? Are they inspiring you to step into more of that within yourself? Or are their habits and their belief systems things that you actually want no part of? Something else to consider is that maybe it's not time to part ways. maybe it's time to communicate what your wants and needs are, how you would like your relationship dynamic to shift, and give them an opportunity to fulfill your wants and needs. So if you have never communicated to a person a few things that they do that just irritate you, or you don't really resonate with, or they just feel like not aligned with your morals and your values, if you've never communicated that to them, then how are they to know that this is something that matters to you? If you've never communicated to them that it upsets you when they back out of plans again and again and again, or it makes you feel like they don't value your friendship, how are they to know? So whatever that situation may be for you, think about some of the things that don't feel amazing about your friendship dynamic or your relationship. If you haven't communicated that, how are you to know? So before just writing it off and being like, this is how they are again and again and again, they're in this pattern and I just don't like it and I don't resonate with it, like maybe it's time to just speak up and ask if this is something that they are actually interested in shifting or melting away and no longer doing, or if it's something that is lacking in the relationship or the friendship, then proposing to them, hey, this is something that's really important to me and I value. Are you interested in doing this too? So the key here is you're not trying to change the other person. You're simply giving them an opportunity to express that they're on board with wanting these changes as well. Okay, so if you have navigated the whole communication process, you've allowed for time for them to say, yes, I want to change this as well, and you've waited and maybe something is not changing, or they've communicated, no, actually, that's just the way I am and I'm not interested in shifting that. Whatever the situation may be, if you know, okay, cool, this is not an FES relationship or friendship and I want out, then you get to decide what is the optimal way to navigate your personal situation. So this is where you are going to be creating a structured and detailed plan of how you're going to set boundaries. So perhaps it might look like having a conversation of closure. And what this could look like is you expressing gratitude for the time that you have spent together. Whether it's 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years, or 50 years, you can have a conversation where you're coming from a place of compassion and sharing how much you have valued the times that you've spent together, and also expressing the lessons that you have learned from this relationship and just sharing all of those good feelings with them. Even if this is a person who has hurt you in some way, even if this is a person where it's very clear you're not jiving anymore and you just don't have the greatest communication with one another, to be able to come full circle and say, look, this is not something I want to keep pursuing, but I am grateful for all of the good times that we did have together. And then clarify that it just doesn't feel like a mutual yes anymore. And then you get to decide if you want this to be a clean cut, you're no longer communicating with this person, or if you want to slowly phase out of communicating with them and spending time with them. So you get to decide what is the ideal frequency for you. How many times a week, how many times a month, how many times a year do you want to be connecting with this person through text, through FaceTime, through calls, in person? And what is your ideal relationship looking like from here on out? Another thing about letting go of relationships that feel toxic or just feel like it's not mutual, it's just not something that you're wanting anymore, is to be intentional and to be deliberate. And it can feel really easy to just get swept back up in the form of communicating and the frequency and everything that it has been for some period of time, because maybe there is some level of attachment with this person, especially if they are a family member, a significant other, or a really, really close friend. There may be that like instinctual habit of connecting with this person when you feel lonely, when you feel stressed, or when you just want to fill a gap in your schedule. If it feels difficult, just keep checking in with yourself, keep circling back around to your boundaries and what feels best for you moving forward, and speak with the most compassion and clarity that you possibly can. So that's going to wrap up this Mindset Monday video focused on how to let go of toxic relationships. I hope that this was helpful for you in one way or another. I would love if you share your biggest takeaway down in the comment section down below. And give this video a thumbs up if you are ready to take some action in this area of your life. All right, love, I'm also going to leave some information about confidence mastery down below because today is actually the first day that we are open again for another round. So you can check that out in the description. I would love to support you over the next 6 weeks in enhancing your confidence and watching that ripple effect in every aspect of your life, in your career, in your relationships, in everything that you do. So it would be an honor to serve you and work with you in that way. And that's all for now. I love you. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you soon.